Alright, so last night we got some pretty interesting updates about Etheria restart from the devs in the official Discord. And this is following some, I don't know if I want to say drama, but people pointing out from the beta that while players thought that the dupes in Etheria restart would not contribute to the real-time PvP, they were actually taking effect there, which caused a bit of, some kind of controversy in the community. There were a lot of people making videos on it, but the devs for Etheria are on point. They already did respond to this. They had two different messages here, so we're going to go over them today and give my overall thoughts, because they also did give us some extra updates for the game, which are looking to be very positive overall. So let's not stall, let's jump right in here. Alright, so this is the first message that was actually from a couple days ago, that because they wanted to just give like a quick sort of acknowledgement of the whole dupe issue, and then afterwards we'll go on to this message here, which was last night about the overall updates. So starting out with this message here, they said, "Hi everyone, please know that we are aware of the ongoing concerns regarding dupes working in RTA." And of course the real-time PvP is RTA. "Our official team always stated that dupes would have a minor impact in RTA as seen in our direct, and that well-optimized free-to-play would still be able to compete against whales with good strategy, team building, drafting, countering, etc. Which is good, that is definitely good. But we do understand how this misunderstanding grew into what it is now. We've always marketed the game as free-to-play friendly, but the narrative definitely got out of hand and our team hadn't realized how many people thought there would be an absolute 0% stat increase in RTA." So yeah, I can kind of see how this was thought about. I kind of thought about it too for a bit, but I'm honestly like not mad at the dupes counting, because compared to other gacha games, the dupes really just give like very minor stat increases. Like a lot of the like HP attack defense ones are like 5%, and then the occasional like other stats to go up depending on the character. Like DPSs have like probably crit stats, attack stats. More like support characters I've seen have like effect res, things like that. So probably not a super crazy increase for those, but of course with the beta there wasn't as much time to see like how a well-built account would play. So we'll have to see how it feels in the overall release here. So to continue on. "A lot of people in the community have been saying free-to-play friendly, dupes won't make too big of a difference for a long time before the latest beta, both within the community and from creators. So we thought this was a general understanding. I do see now how there was a massive influx of dupe players in the latest beta coming from creator videos and other communities where this misinformation was being spread as fact, but please understand it was never intended for this narrative to be pushed, and it snowballed quickly without being realized." I do like them taking accountability, which like, sure, like it wasn't exactly what they said, but they're like, okay, it was perceived this way, so we need to clear it up. "During the beta, I did see many players complaining about getting dupes, but I thought it was because the stat increases for one or two dupes were minimal and players needed other units for team variety to progress rather than small stat increases. In hindsight, as the community manager, I should have recognized this was also because many of the new players thought dupes were entirely useless in RTA and made a statement clarifying so." Yeah, once again, a little more accountability there as well, which I really do like from the community manager here. I believe this is Jack, so we do love to see that. We do love to see Jack putting in the work. Oh no, no, Jack's the game director. No, my fault. We saw the community director during one of the community manager during one of the live streams. So whoever that guy is, I'll have his name down at some point, but I do like the accountability that they're having as well. Even though it's not their fault, they're still like, all right, how can we fix this? I do like that kind of approach. All right, then they go on to say, "Please know that we are actively monitoring the feedback. Our game director, Jack, and the team will be responding within a few days with an official statement." That's the next message over here. So we'll go over that in a bit. "The intention behind dupes was not to make it extremely unfair like other games in the genre that rely on them, but also not make them feel entirely useless and discourage players from pulling. This opens up the ability to max SR and SSR units with dupes much faster than L/Ds and create more unique strategies during different phases of the game's life cycle." Not sure what they mean by LDs. If anyone in the comments knows, you can let me know. Well, yeah, what they're referring to there. "The intention is to encourage an actively shifting meta within different power groups and character releases rather than something that will be stale through every phase, which also gives free-to-play, while also giving free-to-plays the ability to compete in many different ways." Yeah, once again, like I think I've said this before, but I really like their approach to where rather than them being like, oh, this next character has to be better than the previous characters, it's more so about them looking at different archetypes and different kind of like synergies that characters can have to make the meta more interesting, because regardless of, you know, what anyone says or how anyone plays the game, there is going to be a meta, especially for something like a real-time PvP. And then they say, one thing I've noticed is that there is confusion about the scaling of dupe stat increases, so I'll make sure we clarify how it functions, whether it be applied to base stats or if it is a bonus applied after other gear bonuses. Please be patient and wait for our official response. We'll make sure to tag all of you guys for that when it's ready. Thank you so much for the support during the beta. There's been so much passion and love in the community, and I hope we can continue to give you a long-lasting, fun experience from launch. If you haven't checked out the tournament yet, I did talk about the tournaments there as well, which I should probably watch, but yeah, we'll see when I have the time for that. But overall, like, this was pretty solid here, just as a, like, yeah, this, you know, misinformation happened. We're gonna all agree that it's misinformation, and as the company, even though we're not the ones who marketed it that way or planned to market it that way, we see how people would see it differently than what we intended. So we're going to take the time to clarify that, both in this message here from the community manager and also the official statement, which we have right here, which does have stuff about the dupes, but then also some very solid changes as well. So now for the second message here, which is their final test conclusion and pre-launch updates, which it is cool if they put it in the Discord here. Definitely would have been nice to see this on social media as well, unless I just missed it from their social channels. But anyways, dear hyperlinkers, first and foremost, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who participated in the final test. The final test concluded successfully on May 19th with over 200,000 hyperlinkers participating. That's a really good number, I would say, especially for a game that doesn't have the same like level of hype as like a Hoyo title and stuff like that. So 200,000 is I think a very solid number for a beta test, and I'm sure with how many people probably saw the game through like the creator tournaments, through just people streaming it, people talking about it, I feel like we'll have a higher number of people playing in the actual release, which is awesome. Content creators produced thousands of Etheria restart videos on platforms like YouTube, and more than 20,000 hyperlinkers joined our official Discord community, providing valuable feedback and suggestions. The entire team is working diligently on preparations for the official launch. We hope all hyperlinkers will enjoy a delightful gaming experience when Etheria Restart officially launches. That is all huge. But now the biggest part here, the main updates. Before the official launch, we aim to offer more benefits for free-to-play players. That's always good, because free-to-play players are going to be a pretty big chunk of your audience. To this end, we will implement the following adjustments in the upcoming versions. Number 1, reduce the pity threshold for targeted summon pools from 100 pulls to 80 pulls, including constant and disorder. Okay, light and dark. Okay, that's what LD means. Okay. Animus units, making it easier for players to acquire feature animus. This is very good. This just means you're gonna get your guaranteed SSR on the featured banners faster. Instead of you having to go up to 100 pulls, it's gonna go to 80. These banners don't have soft pity, from what I remember, so that still won't change for this. It's not like a soft pity or anything like that, but 80 pulls instead of 100 is nice, so that you don't have to spend as many pulls per character. So we do love to see that as well, and also including the constant and disorder units in this as well. That's definitely going to be really good, because those banners are just generally more expensive, so having to do less pulls to be able to get that guaranteed character is very good. And number 2, add anima exchange tokens to the Summon Arena Etheria shop. Players can use Summon Arena shop tokens to redeem anima, enabling free-to-play players to obtain more. Now, the anima are the dupes, the dupe copies. So this is also really good, because now just by playing PvP, you're going to have certain dupes available to you. I'm not sure if they're going to have like a set roster of characters, if it's going to be like a rotating shop, maybe like every week or couple weeks they swap it out for different characters, or if they just have everything in there all at once. But either way, I think it's a pretty good system, especially with how many characters I was able to get super quickly with just the week and a half we had for the beta. I think that this is going to be very good as well. And the third update here, during the Growth Boost event, players who reach level 30 will also receive anima exchange tokens as a reward, which is also awesome, because that just means you can exchange those for getting extra dupes when you hit level 30, so that would be an extra way for players to get those extra dupes in their characters, which we'll talk more about the real-time arena dupes for them, but it is a nice, like, very, small kind of boost for the characters, whether it's damage boost, how tanky they are, how much HP they have. So it is an extra, cool thing to have for players as well, so that free-to-play players don't feel like they're kind of locked out of dupes a lot of the time. And additionally, we'd like to address 2 key areas of feedback received during the test. Number 1, regarding the gender ratio of game characters. This has been an ongoing topic about the big 4 gachas, which is pretty interesting that they're bringing it up even before release, and also as devs too. So they said, in the world of Etheria, new characters will be introduced in the future, including both male and female roles. We aim to create as many recognizable and uniquely charming characters as possible. Okay, so just like a quick kind of thing here. I do think that the ratio right now is probably better than like the big 4 gacha games for Etheria, but I feel like, yeah, as long as they're putting out characters that I think just a multitude of people will like, I feel like they'll be good. So, and if they're like, the ratio doesn't have to be like perfect, like 50-50, I don't think, but as long as no one, group of people is feeling like, oh, they don't have so many of this character in the game, or they barely have any of this character in the game, I feel like that's fine for the game here. And then number 2, going back to the original point regarding whether anima is effective in Summit Arena real-time arena. We sincerely apologize for not promptly identifying and clarifying this misconception. Anima is effective across all current gameplay modes in Etheria Restart. We've also designed multiple ways to acquire anima exchange tokens. Moving forward, we will continue to monitor and optimize the gaming experience related to anima. I think this is fine, and I think it's actually, there's some good to this as well. So it is effective across all current game modes, so dupes will have an effect, but the dupe effects, like I mentioned before, are pretty minuscule. They're like 5% stat increase here. Like for the bigger stats like crit or like effect res, they give you a slightly higher amount. I think it was like 12% in the beta. Maybe they'll tone those bigger buffs down a little bit, maybe down to like 10% or so. But it is a weird kind of like middle ground you have to find between how much you want to give a character versus what is too powerful, especially for a PvP style mode. But it is good that the game doesn't give like special like unique abilities from the dupes, because that's going to make them super like necessary. But they don't feel as necessary to have in for Etheria Restart with the way they have it set up, which is very nice. Plus, it is also good with the anima exchange token changes in the updates here, that there's going to be more accessibility to dupes as well. And since you are able to get them just by exchanging the PvP currency, that's also going to be good for any player to get dupes regardless of if you're a whale, if you're free to play. So that is good there. Then of course they're going to continue to monitor and optimize the experience, so we'll see what they end up doing there. Then the last part of the message here, they say that beyond these adjustments, we will broadcast the 2nd episode of Hyper Talk at the end of May. Hyper Talk is basically their like live stream format. So we will see, I think it's either the live stream format or it is the where they talk to like the content creators, or maybe like a merge of the two. But either way, that will probably have some extra, updates here. Because as they say, our community manager will address additional community feedback while sharing official launch information, including new characters, events, and United Front details. And United Front is the guild versus guild. I'm pretty sure that's what the GVG is there, which is also really cool. Because the Union stuff does have a lot of potential. We hope you'll continue to follow and support Etheria Restart, and we look forward to reuniting with every hyperlinker in the world of Etheria on June 5th. So overall, a pretty solid update from them. I definitely do like the pity decrease for the featured banners, and also just the clarification and increase of the ability of getting dupes for free-to-play players is really good. But yeah, I'm excited for the game. We're definitely going to cover the 2nd Hyper Talk once that's out, if they have any special information there or really important information. But that is going to be the end of the video here for me. If you enjoyed, or if you want to give your thoughts, definitely be sure to leave a comment there. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But with that, everyone, I will see you all next time.